actually watching it or listening to it. Hi,
Hi, how are you going?
I'm good, Saurabh. Nice to have you. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly. Yeah,
Perfect. I can hear you as well. Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
no
I have
worries.
told everyone that you have 20 years of experience as a software developer, and you worked on some very interesting Australian, startups, and you were part of some initial teams. And I was telling them about comics and all the stuff that you've been working on. But what I want to know is how did you get into all this? I mean, apart from the software developer part, how did you get into comics?
That's a very interesting question. So first of all, thank you for having me on. I
Oh, my
really
pleasure.
appreciate that. Yeah, so like you said before, 20 years in tech, but I've always loved comics from the beginning. As the story goes, my father he introduced me to comics in the first place, and he got an issue of X-Men like in 1990.
Sure.
Yeah, and that was like my first foray into comics, and not saying that like after that it just kind of exploded. Every time we would go, because in India, even in the 90s, as a 90s kid, train journeys was a huge part of our
Yeah,
life.
I remember.
So, going every time we used to go on a train journey, going to like A.H. Wheeler and buying those Nagraj comics
Oh
and
my
Chacha
God,
Chaudhary and
I
stuff like that.
remember Miss Wheeler. Oh my God. But sorry, I'm totally interrupting you. But for some reason, I got into things like Archie's and Tintin. I didn't really get into like X-Men and stuff. But yes, I remember A.H. Wheeler's really, really well. Sorry, please go on.
No, but A.H. Wheeler is a good gateway to Indian comics, like you can get
Yeah.
into any number of Indian comics from there. And like obviously Archie is amazing, and I used to read everything like I could get my hands on. So like Archie, Jughead, what was it? Richie Rich was another like comic
Also,
series that we used to get.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
many of them.
nostalgia. I used to have, like, my dad was in the army, so I used to have like this wooden box, like a huge box. It was just full of Archies. And I had covered them, in newspaper, like we used to put covers on our textbooks. I had put newspaper covers. I had them till I was like 35, and finally then I was like, Acha, theek hai, we should get rid of them now.
I had exactly the same. So my father was in ONGC, which is another transferable
Oh,
job.
wow. Fair enough, yeah. Oh, good
It
times.
broke my heart because in one of the movements we actually lost a big box of
Yeah,
comics. So all
yeah.
all the stuff that I had collected over the years got just lost in one go, and I was like, that stuff's not going to come back.
I know what you mean. But interesting, yeah, 1990s, yeah. Like I'm a total 90s kid, but for some reason, I don't know, I never really got into like the X-Men thing or, Star Wars. I mean, I don't even know the difference. I watched a lot of the movies, but the comics and I mean, through the movies, I realized that there were actually comics and how
Ah.
the stories were done, and that it wasn't just a comic book. For some reason, I used to associate comic books with, like comic books, like Tinkle and stuff. And I never really understood that graphic novels were a thing or that it was such serious business till much later in life.
Yeah, I mean the culture is slightly different from like at least in India when we were growing up, the culture was very different in terms of like how people discovered comic books.
Hmm.
So like in Western countries, we all have like comic book shops, and
Yeah.
like people actually go there. It's a ritual every Wednesday. There's something called a pull list. So people go every Wednesday, they add stuff to their pull list and they have their shipment ready every Wednesday. So that's like a
Ooh,
new comic book day.
cool.
So yeah, but we had like a newspapers thing. We used to subscribe comics through newspapers, which was very different. uh,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah,
And this
and
comic idea of yours to launch, Comix.one, was this something that you've always kind of carried, or was there like a particular catalyzing incident that you were like, you know what, I have to do this?
yeah, so back in 2017, where I actually ran a Kickstarter campaign for a comic book that I wrote. Uh,
Ah,
One step before that, I love writing, and I've written a lot throughout my life. So I used to write for a living. I was a freelancer and a hungry freelancer. So I used to write a lot of like tech articles for tech blogs, and I used to get paid pretty well.
Oh, sure,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Amazing.
I've even written a lot of like how like essays for people who apply for American universities. I've written ghostwriting. I've done that a lot.
Wow, dude. That is serious stuff, man. That's really cool. Yeah, you've written some sci-fi also, haven't you?
Yeah, I've
Short
written.
stories and
Yeah,
sci-fi. So cool. Definitely
thank you.
multi-talented.
Well, I try. Some of it gets picked up. So I've
Sure.
written a lot of short stories. Some of them got picked up. I've written a screenplay. I've written a book which got
Well
published.
done.
Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing.
Um, yeah, so comic book was like, I was like, oh, should I write a comic book? Yes, I should. Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
So yeah, I found a bunch of people on Facebook who were like really open to like critiquing and helping me hone that first draft of my comic. And then I got through into an anthology, which had around 21 stories in total, like a big volume, like 200.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, it was pretty cool. And then we ran a campaign on Kickstarter, which got around like 5,000 to 6,000 US dollars at that time.
Amazing.
Um, yeah, we ended up producing 2 volumes of it, which was very cool. And, but yeah, that kind of left me with something like everybody was asking me, what do I do after this? What happens after your comic book is produced? Where do I buy it from? And what happens to it after that? So
Yeah.
yeah, and I started talking to other comic book creators. I created an account on Twitter and started DMing them, willy nilly.
Okay.
And
Excellent. I mean, yeah, that is the way to do it for sure. How else do you reach out to people these days? I love the internet. It connects you with everybody. I absolutely love it. The fact that
you
people were so willing to help you critique your anthology and, help you out with that. It's amazing. People are amazing. Yeah.
people are amazing, really. You nailed it. You
Yes.
absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
And this industry surprisingly is so down to earth and so accessible. Like I literally DM'd the head of marketing at DC Comics, and he
Sure.
responded back to me. He added me on LinkedIn like 5 minutes later. He
That's
was like,
so cool.
so cool.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the thing, right? I mean, obviously, it must be a really smart person because when you see that and they're like, oh, this is obviously someone with potential. So then they're also smart in that sense. So it's always nice to connect with smart people and people like you. You're writing so much, you've written across so many verticals. I mean, you've written college applications, you're writing comics, you've written tech articles, you're writing short stories. So you're obviously someone who, and I'm sure they can see that, someone with experience and that kind of stuff, they know what they're doing. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty epic.
Thank you so much. I also happen to be, and this is, I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, it's just my love for writing, that I happen to write really successful cold emails as well. So
Sure.
this is a skill nobody asked for.
Oh, amazing, dude. That's really cool. Yeah.
Thank you so much. But yeah, it kind of led me in interesting direction. So I started talking to these people, and
Mm.
and as it turns out, a lot of people have this problem of in between. So like they have a Kickstarter campaign that runs, say, in like February or March, and then another one that runs in August. But
Yeah.
in between, nothing's happening. Like nobody's discovering their books. Nobody's
Huh.
actually, there's no like they build a community, then they lose it, and then they build it again 6 months later.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. I hadn't considered that actually. I think for some reason I just thought that people did that on Kickstarter just for their first project to get started, but then they would have their own, I don't know, website or Instagram or some kind of platform where they would be selling their stuff. And because you built a community, like you said, how can you just let it go? Oh my God.
Yeah, currently the community is very glued together. So what happens is like first you get some people, say like 40 people on Kickstarter. It's a mix of friends and family who like to
Mm.
support you, and a mix of like
Sure.
random strangers on the internet.
Sure.
So, but then you hope that in the next campaign that you're doing, you grow out of friends and family and find more strangers on the internet who actually like your product, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like the platform is essentially trying to solve that in between, but in the last
Mm.
couple of years, it's kind of taken a life of its own, and people are
Brilliant.
saying like, yeah, we want to do all these things in one place, because when we build a community, say on Substack or like another platform, taking it to another platform, you lose some people,
Yes.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, so that's why it kind of became like marketplace, crowdfunding, and a social place all in one, where like you can build your community and then create your products. Yeah,
Sure.
and yeah, these are the people who stay with you
Hmm.
throughout your journey as a creator. So yeah.
Sure. No, that's cool. But like, wasn't there someone else already doing that? Like,
uh,
a platform for comic creators or something?
yeah, there's other platforms that do the similar
So
stuff.
what are you doing differently? Like, if there is someone who is producing or wanting to produce their own comic, why should they come to you and not go to the other people?
Yeah, there's a few different reasons. Every like other platforms are not doing all in one place, so they have like different parts of the journey figured out, but not the
Okay.
whole thing. That's
Okay.
one. And
Okay.
two, like we actually do help creators do other stuff that they don't like. For example, marketing, building their PR kits.
That's fair enough.
Nobody likes marketing.
Yeah.
Because like people forget, like when you have a publisher, they do a lot of stuff for you. They do like say the cover graphics, and like they
Yes.
do the whole putting it in stores and marketing and things like that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, as a creator, if you're doing it self-published, you have to do everything yourself.
Everything. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So you're saying that one difference is that most other platforms are not doing the full journey from start to finish, whereas you do the full journey for them. Can you tell me what the full journey actually looks like? Like, who comes to you? Is it someone who has an idea, or is it someone who's already written the comic book? Like, can you tell me a little more?
Yeah, so usually people when they come to me, they either have a comic book published in the past or they have an idea. So either way it works, because
Okay.
if they already have a comic book that's ready, which
Hmm.
means they've already done some crowdfunding campaign, have built a little community, they
Okay.
can come into the marketplace and start selling it right away.
Okay. Okay.
The other part of the journey is if they have an idea, or like say early like say I've gone through the idea as a writer, and then I got in contact with an artist
Hmm.
and got some initial sketches of the idea going. That's when they can come on the crowdfunding side. So usually how this works is when people have an idea, they go on looking for an artist, or if
Hmm.
they're an artist and writer themselves, they do the initial concept themselves.
Okay.
Then they put it up for crowdfunding and raise certain amount of money, so they can
Sure.
actually pay the artist to finish the book and get it produced and everything, print, and
Okay.
whatever needs to be done for that. And then the next part is like fulfillment. So they actually package the book, ship it to the backers. Once
Okay.
that's done, the book's ready, but then it has to go to the next stage, right? So what's the next stage? Like different people have different pathways. Some people want those books to be picked up by a publisher. Some
Sure.
people want to distribute it themselves directly into the stores. So
Huh.
like there are different pathways for different kinds of creators. Yeah,
Okay. 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 So you're saying that you do all of this for them.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. And you guys charge only 15%, right? I've read that the other platforms charge like 70, 75%.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So like Amazon, if you do the same thing on Amazon, obviously Amazon is a volume game, and
Of
there's
course.
fewer. Yeah, you have to pay 65% of your earnings to Amazon. That's one.
Ooh. Okay.
Then you are in a crowded marketplace, so you have to stand out.
Already. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
That is true.
yeah. So there's this whole SEO kind of game you have to play in Amazon. So you have to get like a certain level in a category to actually get yourself some sort of earnings.
Okay.
There's other competitive platforms where you can put up a digital copy of your book. For example, there's one called Global Comics where you can put up like a digital copy of the book, and it's a subscription-based platform. So that's like for readers, it's really good that they get a whole
Achha.
catalog for like
Okay. Okay.
$6 a month. But for creators, it becomes a bit difficult because like for 300 or 400 reads, they get like 10 cents, 20 cents.
Yikes, man, that's horrible. Oh God.
But that's how revenue sharing works, right? If you're charging consumers $6, you
I
give it back.
know. Yeah, but everything has turned into the subscription model. I'm not sure I actually like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why, like for me, I was like, I know subscriptions are good for the readers, but then you have to find a middle ground, like readers can support the creators they like directly by
Hmm.
purchasing the books. That's one, right?
Yeah,
And
so the
then
analogy is like Spotify and iTunes. Spotify is subscription and iTunes is like, oh, I want to buy that song. And I used to enjoy doing that on iTunes, but it honestly at that time I used to think, oh my God, it's a bit expensive, but then I'll have the song forever. But with Spotify, I'm like, I have all these playlists and everything. And tomorrow, if I decide not to use Spotify, then what am I going to do?
yeah,
So I don't
exactly.
really like that subscription model, to be honest.
Yeah, Spotify is a very different beast. We will
Oh,
still be,
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Like it's iTunes versus Spotify model, and like even when I do want to introduce subscriptions, but that's not for accessing anything on Comix.one. That's
Okay.
for people who want to subscribe to individual creators separately.
Ah, oh, cool. Okay, that sounds nice. Okay.
So that's more like Patreon like stuff,
Yes,
like yeah.
yes,
So
yeah.
that's
So
part of
even
the
for,
community building stuff. Oh, sorry, you were saying.
even for like consumers or customers, I feel like it's so confusing. It's like, should I contribute to Patreon? Should I subscribe to their paid channel on Instagram? Should I like? There are so many options. It can get very confusing.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm
exactly.
not really sure. I mean, I always like I've also considered it. I said if I had to have a subscription, I've tried Instagram, I've tried Patreon, but I feel like building a base there or actually getting paid there, something which will actually help me sustain. It's a full-time job. It's not like you
Oh,
can
it
be like, oh,
is.
I've opened a channel and ho gaya. No, you have to like do it. It's a everyday grind.
It is. It is very much so. We have people. So Webtoon is actually one of the most popular platforms out there
Okay.
for like web comics. So they have
Okay.
pioneered something called vertical scrolling. So
Mm,
you don't normally comics are read like this, right? So you
mm.
for normal comics you read like this. For manga you read like the other way around.
Yeah.
But they are like this.
Oh.
Webtoons. So yeah, you have to manage your comics very differently for them.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So
Yeah.
you are you also have a day job. You're a you're the chief technical officer or something. Technology officer, sorry.
Yeah, Chief Technology Officer. Well, I
And you
finished
also
my day job a few weeks ago, and I started doing this for, like not comics full time, but I do a lot of consulting work on the
okay.
side. So
Okay.
yeah, I
Oh,
started my
sweet.
own little consultancy a few weeks ago. So
Okay, so now you're fully independent. So you're doing your consultancy, you're running Comix.one. Are you still writing? Are you writing your own comics or your short stories?
I wish
Oh man.
between two
Getting
kids and the business and the job, it gets a bit busy.
sure, yeah, yeah. I totally get it. I totally get
Yeah,
it. Yeah, that's
yeah,
why I was like, you're already doing so many things, and sometimes I feel like, people like us, with the artistic bent of mind and who are creative, we ourselves are like indie creative people in that sense. We have all
yeah,
these ideas and then we take it on and then we do it also. But it's like, oh
yeah.
my God, what have I signed up for? But
Finishing the idea and seeing it through is the hard part. Like
oh
starting is not.
man, it's no, that is also not the issue for me. I mean, I've never really done a project as big as yours, Comix.one or having a consultancy firm. I've always been like, I just want to be on my own, I don't have a team. You do have a team, right? Like, even your
Yeah,
sister works with you. She helps you with developing apps and stuff. Is that still on? Yeah?
That's correct. Yeah. So she's the one who's developing Comix.one, like all the front end, and she does that
Ah,
as well. And
yeah.
she's also helping me with the consultancy side of things. So she's working on that
Amazing.
side as well.
How is it
Yeah.
working with your sister?
It's amazing, actually.
Wow.
It's surprisingly fun, and like she's obviously very good at it, and
Of course.
but yeah, never had an issue, to be honest. Like it's been
Wow.
a good. I think that's been like the biggest boost that Comix.one has ever got, like getting her on board, because
Mm,
I was working on it alone for a very long time, for like a
sure.
good part of 2 years. And I know like 2 years sounds like a lot, but for me, like, and the numbers were really small for everything. Like, oh, I went from like zero creators to like 100 creators in the first year. It took me like 1 year to do that. And then another year to double that number. But then when she came on, suddenly I had all this time to focus and energy to focus on other things.
I can
And
imagine. Yeah.
yeah, and then we just shot from like 200 creators to 2,000 in no time.
Oh, wow, dude. That's okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, books, not creators. The 200 to
Sure.
2000, yeah, 2,000
Sure.
books, and
Wow. I
yeah.
think, I have never worked with a team. I have always been solo. It's been 22 years now. And I have recently started using Claude AI. And I'm like, it's like having an assistant. I mean, sure, it doesn't do everything, but even just the basic things, like, my brain as a creative person is like, oh, shiny. I'm like, oh, shiny, I have to do that. Oh, let's try that. That's how my brain works.
Yep,
I
yep, yep.
seriously lack structure. So if I get an idea, I get obsessed with it and I'll execute it. But then, I'll observe it for a little while. And if I feel like it's not doing well, then I completely lose interest. I said, okay, go away, next. But with Claude, I feel like, oh, because now I feed something into it and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. Can you like give me some sort of structure? So then it'll say some things and I'm like, oh, I can do that. Yes, yes, this is good. So I feel like I'm able to follow through for a little bit. But then
Mm.
again, keeping that one idea instead of having 10 ideas, I feel like maybe I should have two and just focus on those two. But I do understand that whole team thing, like having someone in your corner. A sister is somebody who has all your backstory, so she gets you. And
Yeah,
then she's also good at what she does, so she's actually able to contribute to the business. So I can only imagine it must be amazing.
it totally is. We have a pretty and like I slowly started delegating this stuff to other people. Like for example, like PR for PR, we had a few different amazing PR people work on Comix.one. One of them, actually, very interesting story. So I'll tell you the references for both of them. So one of them used to be head of PR at Archie Comics,
Oh,
and
so cool.
I know that's what I'm telling you. Like, I am not as cool as the people I work with.
Oh,
Nowhere
wow.
close.
That is
and
so cool, man. Okay. What else?
and the other person we used to work with, she used to manage like a comic syndicate called King's Features. You know King's Features? Have you heard of them?
No.
I'm sure you have heard of all their properties. So Popeye,
Of course.
uh, Beetle Bailey.
Yeah.
No,
Acha.
all the comic strips that you used to see in Times of India and Indian
That's
Express.
King features. Okay.
All of them. And she used to manage the whole community of like what there were like 3,000 or 4,000 creators, and like the entire YouTube with like 600,000 subscribers or something. Like
Oh, dude, I've got goosebumps. That's insane. That is it. I've created a WhatsApp group here called Naina's Adelaide Collective. It has
okay,
120 people, and I'm already sweating bullets. I said, what am I going to do with this? Again, structure issue. But obviously, she must be someone who's good with structure, who knows what to do with what. So it's, yeah. Oh my God.
100%.
But you have worked with really cool people, man. That's really nice.
Yeah, yeah. So, that's what having a team is like. It's
Ah,
so amazing about them, because then you can just trust them to do their thing, and then like you can focus on, stuff that matters to you, at that point in time.
sure.
And that actually helped me to put structure for myself in place, because
Yeah.
early I was just doing stuff. Oh yeah, I have to do this, I have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I use Notion, to create like this whole nicely structured thing for myself, so I can
Okay.
actually, think and that's a process, like I said, okay, if I have an idea, how do I go about actually executing the whole thing? Step one, step two, step three, and then like put it in Notion, write it all down, then break it down into different parts and see what parts I can delegate to others, what I need to work on myself, all of that
Okay.
stuff. And
Okay.
then like and I put a date on it, saying like this is the cutoff date. I need to, that's very important.
Yeah, otherwise nothing's going to happen. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get it. I've been
yeah.
hearing a lot about Notion, and especially people have been doing, like Notion and working with Claude. So, yeah, now you have also mentioned it, so I think I have to go and check it out.
It's very cool. It's very flexible. Like it is something that you can make your own
Sure.
kind of
Cool, I'll
thing.
check it
And
out. Thank you.
no worries. But yeah, like I said, having the team gave me the time and energy to actually focus on what matters to me, and then like, and that helped Comix.one so much.
I can
Uh,
imagine. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, because you
yeah,
get like a direction, right? It's a very clear direction of where you actually want to take it. That obviously it's immensely helpful because I feel that the not only is the message clearer to you and internally to your team, but then even people can see it. And more clarity you have, you attract the correct kind of target audience that your company actually needs. So yeah, it's great.
exactly. No,
Mm.
I think it's been good, and every day is amazing because we talk to so many fantastic people who are
Yes.
creating such amazing things from nothing. So it's I like the whole alchemy side of things. Yeah,
Wow. I like your perspective on that you're calling it alchemy. That's interesting. Uh-huh. It is that. I can see that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you're one, right? You made the artwork behind you. It was an idea,
Yes.
and now it's real. So.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's an idea. And then by the time it gets translated from an idea to something like physical, like, a printed comic book, which is, you guys are also doing that now. You're doing print on demand, right? Which I think is
Yeah.
so cool. Please tell me more.
Thank you. No, print on demand came through last year. I've been trying to do that forever, and like because
Ah, acha.
it's the most requested thing every creator wanted, because few things. One, it's expensive to print.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
it, and it's also it takes space, and it's very hard to manage everything with these like houses are getting smaller, and space is getting less and less. So
True.
um, yeah, people want just enough so they can go to conventions and they can sell and showcase some of the books, but they
Ah,
don't
okay.
want. Yeah, and print has minimums and stuff like that, right? You need to print a minimum number of copies.
Oh, dude, yeah.
You know it very well. So,
Even though
so
I have not printed any comics, but I had tried to print a book of my photographs. I wanted to do like a volume one every 2, 3 years. Volume one, volume two, volume three, whatever. I did the first volume and I printed it on this website called Blurb Books. And Blurb
okay,
allows you to print one copy also. But of
okay.
course, it's expensive. So then if
Hmm.
you do 10 copies, the price is the same. But if you do 100, it's a lot cheaper. And I was like, what am I going to do with 100? So I printed 10 and dude, the quality and it was absolutely stunning. I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this is mine. Like this is my work. Like, it's so good to be able to actually see that. But
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
one of those ideas that never really went anywhere. But yeah, I can imagine, this print on demand now. Like if I have a photography book that I create, like a coffee table book, for me to ship it from, especially from Australia to anywhere else in the world is like, oh God.
That's the key thing. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
So the
So
idea,
expensive. यहाँ पे, yeah, but
exactly.
print on demand makes it so much easier. Now, see, you've given me another idea. This is not good, yeah, Saurabh. This is very bad. Oh, okay, cool. So have you guys already started doing this, or is it like in process? Are you raising money for it? What's happening?
No, I think it's already working. So we last year in September we got in touch with a printer called Comics Wellspring. They are
Okay,
like the biggest comic book printer in the US,
okay.
and happened to, like I said, I message people on LinkedIn and they respond. So
Oh,
yeah, so one of the people they actually moved from HP to Comics Wellspring, and they were looking for partners, and we happened to speak. And essentially, what they're trying to build is like this book of one. That's what they call, which is printing on demand.
Okay.
But they're obviously focused on the US market right now.
Sure.
So currently, we have creators from Australia, from US, from Canada, from Mexico, from UK. They
Amazing.
have their books print on demand shipping to their fans in the US
How
already.
cool. Okay,
So
that's excellent, man. Do you have comics from India? Are there any indie comic writers, authors from there? Yeah, you do?
we work with one of them, and we have a few of them requesting us to work with us. The problem right now is we are trying to enable payments and payouts, and like
Oh,
that's the tricky part. Once that works, that
sure.
we will definitely 100% go to India because
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that can be very challenging working with India in that regard. I get it. Yeah. Okay. But cool, you guys are like, you are looking at doing that. So that's nice.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. The final part, and this happened very so print on demand in the US is already sorted. So we all actually have like a print partner in in Canada also.
Mm.
And like there's a recently we added a print partner in China who is able to actually print and ship books for like especially for the crowdfunding side. Because in crowdfunding fulfillment is such a huge part. And
Sure.
it's yeah, you have to package the books correctly and you have to ship them out, and like creating those packages is often
Yeah.
like if you have 200 books to and it's not just books, actually you can get stickers, and you can
Yes.
get a lot of people have different kinds of rewards, stickers, like
Yeah.
merchandise. Some people have, like I've seen people do coasters or like
Sure.
all sorts of
Yeah, these are all
merchandise
these
stuff.
perks that you give. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Wow. So
Yeah,
there is a company you found in China who does all of it.
all of that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. No, thank you. We're just trying to create like good partnerships in the
Sure.
ecosystem, because like
Yeah.
all these people, they have loved comics, and like they know what they're doing. So that for us, like that's a huge advantage, and like we don't have to do everything ourselves.
Of course, yeah. How do you find these people? Like, how did you? I mean, sure, Comics Wellspring maybe because it's the US and things in the US people tend to kind of hear about. But for example, in Canada or even these people in China who are doing this for you, how did you find these people?
So the good thing is, when you care about the community, they care about you
Fair
in the
enough.
back. So actually, two of our creators put us up with these printers. So a creator from Canada, he said, "But I know these people; they're really good,
Yes.
and
Yes. Yeah.
they made the introduction. Love that. Same for like the China one, a creator in Australia. They actually put us up with them. So
Excellent, man. I love that about community. Everyone's like gung ho about making it work. And
yes.
they can see that you are trying to do something for the community. So people are more than happy to. Yeah, excellent. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And it helps to be that entity with a face,
Yeah.
like a lot of times companies, when they get really big, they start losing that factor. And I personally, I don't want that to happen ever,
Ah, that makes a lot of difference, yeah, Saurabh, you're right. I was just thinking, I am so glad you found my podcast. I don't know how, but I'm so happy that now I know you because you sound like a really, really cool guy who gets stuff done. It's like I've been working as a freelancer for 22 years, and working alone is a bit of a challenge. But just being able to interact with someone like you, it's really nice. So I'm very happy. Thank you.
No, and thank you for hosting. Thank you for doing those Malay videos. Actually, those were really helpful in discovering.
I mean, it's like I was, so I chat with like Claude and I said, give me some ideas, some India Australia thing that I can talk about. Pick it up from the chats I've had with you. Like, don't manufacture something new. Claude gave me a line saying that here I am, a photographer and content creator with 22 years of experience. I'm known for milk. And I'm like, yeah, what is this nonsense? It was so random, totally random. But yeah, I've had a lot of people actually see those, then come to my page. But I don't think I had my funnel done correctly. It wasn't like, oh, you came to my page and then you went to the bio and you clicked on a link and you saw more of what I did. It just seemed like, oh, that is a milk reel. What is this? This is photography? And then you go to the website and you see this really gorgeous portfolio and you're so confused.
I was too. To be honest, I was too.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
but good. I saw that. I was like, okay, I now I know that you're also an artist, and you get what I'm trying to do. So I
Yes.
think you're the right person to talk to. So,
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. I feel that it takes a certain kind of person to connect the dots.
mm,
And I am that kind of person. And I want to work with those kind of people. So I feel like whatever said and done, at the end of the day, it works for the people that it works for. And that's fine. Yeah.
very true, very true, very
Yeah.
true. But good that you're doing the collective, because one of the biggest issues I've had my freelancing days as well before I moved
Sure.
to Australia, and like one of the biggest issues was in Bombay anyway. There's so much isolation.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, finding friends was hard. So I just went out and did, like, used to do like volunteering at, like,
Yes. Yes.
NGOs and stuff like that, to
Yeah.
find friends and to actually find people like whom I can hang out with. So it's
Yeah.
good that you're able to do, like a collective
Yeah,
for that.
that's what I posted a reel today saying that in India, if someone added me to a WhatsApp group, I would actually chew them out and spit them out like, how dare you? And here I have only started a WhatsApp group. I said, this is unbelievable. But it's nice, because I feel like I've been meeting people, whether it's Desi diaspora or local Australians, and I genuinely got the sense that people were lonely. And I was like, why? There are all of us in these pockets and we feel lonely. All we have to do is just get together. So I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
why not? Let's try and see. So this is how my ideas work. I'm like, oh, why not? Let's try this and see how it goes.
yeah.
So it's been interesting. I mean, I had someone write to me saying, oh my God, you have 120 people on the group. What will you do if all 120 show up? And I was like, A, that's not going to happen. It'll probably happen when I have 10,000 people. Then 100 people might show up because everyone has their lives. Some people are free on weekends. So it's not a logistical issue at all. But for me, I'm more concerned about that. At least somebody should show up. But
Exactly.
yeah, but it's very, very interesting. And same with you, with what you're doing with Comix.one. You have this community now where, people are helping you out, you are helping them out, and all of you are kind of building and working together. It's really nice to have that tribe in general. And you have been a freelancer, so you actually understand what that was like. And I've been doing it for 22 years, and I think now I'm done. Now I'm like, nay, I need some form of assistant or like a partnership, or even if, I have a friend in London. She's like really, I mean, I can't understand half the things she does. She's really smart. She works with boards across the world. She helps set up businesses and stuff like that. And, once a week, if I get on a call with her, it like washes my brain. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a different perspective. So even if I just have that, if I have 5, 6 people I can speak to throughout the week, it really helps. That is
Yeah,
also a sense of community. But
yeah,
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 having
yeah,
something like Comix.one for all the, geeks and nerds and people who love comics, and that's different. That's
yeah.
that's different, where everyone just kind of gets you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, very true, very true. It's funny, if you see my Discord, at any point of the day, there are like comic book creators messaging me, asking me, "Oh, how does this work?" And then like, or like just asking me random questions about, like, what's the next
Sure.
step in their comic book journey is, or yeah,
Someone just
yeah,
commented saying, "Bring back the Tank Girl comics, please." So this, yeah, it's
yeah. Tank Girl is a British comic book series, from what I
is it
remember.
okay? I have no idea. I'll have to like
Yeah,
Google it after
it's
the
made
podcast.
by. Do you know the band Gorillaz? Of course, you know
Yes,
Gorillaz.
I know gorillas. Thank God.
So the guy who drew like the one, it's like it used to be like a virtual band, like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all the it's the comic book artist actually drew all the characters. He did, yeah. So he's the one who
Oh,
actually made the Tank Girl comics as well.
Oh, so cool. Yeah, dude, you know your stuff, obviously. I'm just like, oh my God, what if your audience comes to this podcast and I like totally clueless about comics? I'm like, that'll be so embarrassing. But I know a little bit, very little, little.
That's perfectly all right. I have to know. If I don't know, then people will be sus of me, you know.
You to know, yeah, come on. And you've always been in Sydney, is it?
No, I have been in Sydney for 11 years.
Okay.
I moved here from Taiwan. I lived in Taiwan for like a year and a half.
Oh
Uh,
wow! But Taiwan also has a massive comic culture and graphics
I
and
know.
graffiti, and it's insane. I didn't know about that this association with Taiwan. My dad was in the army and he went to Taiwan for some work for like a week or whatever, and then he came back with all these books with graffiti books, and I'm like,
That's
what
so
is all this?
amazing.
I didn't know Taiwan had this culture.
Taiwan is fantastic. I don't know if you've been there or not.
No, I haven't.
You must totally go, first of all.
Yes, I will. I will.
It's a very beautiful country. Very like because I had no uh, like expectation from it. It just completely blew me away when I moved there.
Ah,
Um, it's also a funny coincidence that my brother-in-law is actually a Taiwanese American. So
oh, so
uh,
cool! Wonderful. Does he also work with you on Comix.one?
no,
Okay.
but he's in software as well.
Oh,
So
sure. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
yeah. But also like when I moved there, I had like literally no expectations. But the country
Sure.
it's super clean. It's very pretty. The people are fantastic. Like they're so lovely. I can't count how many times people have gone out of their way, literally gone out of their way. Like if I'm lost, they will stop going where they are going and they will take us to like the right direction and then go back. And I'm like,
Wow.
that's just next level of
That's
helpfulness. You know?
incredible. That is absolutely. But do you think this is true in Australia also, or not so much?
People are helpful in Australia, but I think it depends who you run into.
Oh, of course. Oh, that's yeah. Of course. Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
No,
but
I've had very good
in general,
interaction.
like I've met so many lovely people here as well. You know,
Yes. Yes. Totally.
um,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Australia blew my mind. Like people have been really, really nice. And so on Comics.one, do you have any artists from Adelaide?
there's a publishing company we've been talking to from Adelaide.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
they're like a small press called Amplify Press. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Nice, nice. Yeah. I'm always curious about if there is like a local connection because I feel that, in Australia, everyone is like, oh, I'm from Sydney, I'm from Melbourne. It's not like, oh, people don't really, I mean, I don't know. In Adelaide, I've met a lot of people who've never even been out of Adelaide. So it's
yeah.
always nice to find out about, new businesses and be like, oh, okay, so there is some Adelaide connection also.
There's a indie festival that called Paper Cuts. That happens this year. It's not happening. It's happening next year.
Okay.
So it used to happen every year, but from this year they've switched it to like a 2 year model. So
Sure.
Paper
And
Cuts
this
is
happened in
like
Adelaide.
yeah.
Ooh, oh, sweet. Acha, Adelaide, there's so many things that happen in Adelaide, man. I'm still like
It's a very
finding
good
out, like I
place.
keep hearing and I'm like, oh, acha, this also happens here. I said, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was in Adelaide in December. We have some really good friends there, and
Amazing. Yeah, yeah, next
yeah,
time you're coming, we're definitely hanging out.
definitely.
And tell me one thing, I read online somewhere that you are not looking for VC funding. Why is that?
Yeah, there's different kinds of pressures, that come with funding.
Sure.
That's one, and like one of the major things is obviously the artistic community, and rightly so. Like the community of artists are not very like aligned with the AI side of things as well. So
Hmm.
some of our competitors have gone through that route, and the community, you know, has responded with like very negatively to that as well.
Sure.
But like, and there's been like a whole history of like well-funded comic book ventures like Comixology and a bunch of other ones that have
Hmm.
gone a very different route than like the community had expected. So they promised one thing, but then there was VC pressure and they moved
Oh,
to a direction which was completely opposite to what the community
sure.
wanted, or
Uh,
like they had signed up for. So
hmm.
so there's a lot of like hangover from some of those kind of things. So
True.
if I had thought that like even if it takes me a few years to build this correctly, I'll and if I have to take money from the right people, I have to make sure of those two things, So someone with that agenda doesn't come on board and then start pushing that,
Of
or
course.
we have significant amount of freedom to work with the community and build something that's right for them rather than,
Hmm.
build something for this. Like there was this comic book company that I hired the Archie guy from, and
Okay.
he used to work at a place called Zest World, and they're shut down now. Um, but what Zest World was doing, like they raised like the first $6 or $7 million. They built
Hmm.
something, but then they were constantly doing something to please the VCs. They were like buying ad space in like billboards in San Francisco, or like it's
Yeah.
not going to help the community in any shape or form, or like buying articles in like Forbes. Like no,
Sure.
no, nobody from comic book community reads Forbes. They read Comics Beat,
True. Oh,
So like then you just lose your focus, and you're in just a very different, like you're just trying to please somebody who does not like understand what you're trying to
hmm.
do,
True.
and
True. Okay.
yeah, just
So
don't
mainly
want those kind of pressures.
you're
So
essentially focused on the community and what is good for them instead of being like, oh, I need to raise money and okay. So
exactly.
your focus is that, which obviously then the choices are different. Okay.
Yeah, that also means it's taken me like a year and a half to actually speak to and like any like five investors who are interested in me,
Sure.
and
Sure. Sure.
because
Sure.
I've spoken to so many of them, they come on board and then they have these like big ideas. Like there was this investor who told me like, oh yeah, your community is good and everything, but why don't you add like AI based translations? On paper, it makes sense, but
Yes.
like when there are actual translators who are part of the community, they don't feel good about it, Yeah, yeah,
Fair enough, yeah. But yeah,
yeah,
it's a very interesting landscape. Like even me to say that I'm using Claude as a, executive assistant. There are people who work as virtual assistants from all over the world. For them, it's like, excuse me, that's not me. That's not what I do. It's a different skill set. But yeah, I don't know where it's all headed, man, honestly.
no, no, yeah, that's very true. And I think the tech community has not helped it in a good way. Like
Oh,
they have
sure.
been, and they're my colleagues and my,
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
and
Yeah.
yeah, they have been very brash about the whole like, scraping of the web and, like stealing of the copyrighted artworks and, things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, even all these, even in Hollywood, actors signing contracts where the studios are saying that we'll use your AI likeness and stuff. It's like, oh, excuse me.
yeah, it is a bit weird. Like,
It is, yeah.
yeah,
And right now, I mean, now I feel like people are a little more aware of it. Like you mentioned, Forbes, they have all these lists like 30 under 30 and 40 under 40. For the longest time, most people didn't know that these were paid lists. You could pay and get your name on it. But initially it used to be this thing like, oh, you were on the 40 under 40 list, and everyone's like, oh, how do I get on it? And then you find out that you have to pay for it, and it just completely kills the credibility.
completely,
And
yeah,
there have been so many things like this that have happened. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, for example, there were a lot of people on Twitter who had been verified because they were, public figures, or they had given, interviews, or they had published books or whatever. And then when Elon came on, he's like, oh, you can buy the blue tick. And it was like, it just completely
what's the
changes the
point?
landscape and the credibility of the platform. And same with Meta. I mean, on Instagram also, there are people like me who've had the blue tick for donkey's years. But now you can't differentiate between the two because you can buy it also as a subscription. And this similar thing, the
Yeah, yeah,
same
yeah.
thing has been happening across. It's been happening in print, it's been happening online, and I don't know what it translates to, like what's happening. Where is the discernment? I feel like
Yeah,
that is becoming more and more important because 5 years ago, if I looked at a AI video, I could be like, yeah, I can tell this is an AI video, and now I
yeah.
can't. It's scary.
It's very scary. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is. But yeah, I mean, so I can imagine for comic artists, say like AI could just produce a comic.
Yeah.
Like why do we need someone who is an illustrator? Like these paintings, I'm sure if I gave the correct prompt to AI, It could just create something like this, and all I had to will do is like print it. I don't even need to paint it. But then I also feel that the value of the actual painted thing really goes up. So
Yeah, I mean the value is in the process, right? Like you go through that process of like creating something, and it's essentially all art is for yourself. I mean, you share it with the world, but it's for yourself, right?
of course, yes, it is.
If you're just able to write prompts and build something and create something, you print it, you sell it. There's no soul in it, you've not put anything a part of yourself in it, I mean that's what I feel personally about it. But
Sure.
like
Yeah.
when you go through like the process of like constructing the canvas and putting like stuff on it, you go through the process of
Everything.
how
Yeah.
will I reach there, like that's the fun of it. Yeah.
It is. It definitely is. Yeah. And, the challenges and your own personal growth as a human being, I think it's all kind of tied in with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a total nerd, man. I love you. You are so cool. It's like you meet people and they talk about business and they set up these companies and you're a CTO and, there's a certain kind of thing I expect. You are like not like that.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
I'm glad I'm not like that.
You're totally awesome. I'm sure your community absolutely loves you. It's brilliant. They're really lucky to have you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to check the time. Okay, we have 5 more minutes left.
Okay, cool.
So how does someone listening to this podcast is like, oh, I want to check out this platform and I have this idea for a comic. What's the best way for them to actually like reach out to you?
Yeah, sure. So the website is www.comix.one. So you can come in, browse any number of books on the platform. You can also download the app. It's on iOS.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's comix.one.
That's correct.
Comix.one. So for anyone who's listening, comix.one.
And you get a whole bunch of books for free when you download the app. So, I think you get like around 10 or 12 books for free. So we've opened it up to like whoever wants to give their first issue free, they can do that. And people have done that. So good to get, like that initial traction of people and then charge for later issues and stuff like that. So, but yeah, come in, browse the website. If you love that, you can support the creators directly. Like you said correctly, Naina, 85% goes to the creator. We get 15% to sustain the platform. And if you have a creative idea, hit me up. It's contact, CONTACD @comix.one. Yeah, I can help you.
Awesome. And how does one follow, like if you guys have any updates or new projects you're working on, is there what platform will be the ideal one where we can follow all these updates? Like if you're launching some, I don't know, new country print on demand, you're launching something like that.
You can follow us everywhere. So Instagram, comics_app. TikTok, it's called Comix.one. We are on Blue Sky, Twitter.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Okay, good. So you have that sorted. Excellent. And obviously you're posting all these updates on all these platforms.
Yes.
And on the website you must have, somewhere at the bottom saying Instagram, TikTok and all, so people can follow from there.
Yes, we do. Sweet. And we also have a mailing list. If you want to join the mailing list, you can join that too. So we have like exclusive offers and, like some lot of creator interviews as well. We also have a YouTube where you can actually tune in. Sorry for plugging my own podcast.
No, please. Absolutely. Yeah. We are here to do all the plugging that is required. What is your podcast called again?
It's called Freshly Pressed. So
Freshly Pressed. Oh, wow. Very nice. So obviously you love coffee also.
Yeah, we talk to comic book creators and, the cool people.
Cool people. Excellent. Yeah, sure. I'll put a link to that. No, once this is done, you please send me all these links. I'll put it wherever I'm publishing it. Like I'll put a feature on the blog post and everything. So I'll include all the links for someone to come and like click on it and see whatever they want to follow.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Naina. I appreciate
of course, that. So happy, yaar. I'm really happy to talk to you, Saurabh. I can't tell you. You made my day.
Same. Honestly, it's so good to meet people who actually get you.
I know. It's so cool. I'm telling you, I've been really lucky all my life. I always meet like the most cool people. And then I stay in touch with everyone and it's amazing. Now I feel like as a freelancer, I finally don't feel like I'm alone and isolated because, at this age, it's like, I have a question. Maybe I can call up Saurabh and ask him. I like that. I really, really appreciate that.
Nice.
Thank
Nice.
you so much, man. Thank you for coming on the podcast. I'm glad you found me milk videos, whatever. And yeah, let's stay in touch. I will follow what's up with comics, and if there are any big updates, I'll be happy to repost it to my community. And good luck to you guys, man.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the time today, and all the best for podcast and all the stuff that
Thank
you do.
you.
It's very cool.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, thanks, all.
Thank you.
Bye. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye.